Hello and welcome to another episode of the Your Way podcast. So it's just me on my own this week for the first time in absolutely ages, other than the bonus episodes, and we are talking about money. So, no, I am not about to become a money coach, and nor do I pretend to have all of my money stuff sorted. But what I do recognize is that if we are going to get ourselves to a place where we can do life and work our way, money, our relationship with money, and our experience of money is one of the fundamental building blocks that forms part of that. And the reason for that is, or one of the reasons for that is, if you spend a large amount of your time panicking, worrying, fixating about money, no judgment, by the way, we all do it at times. But if all of your energy and attention is on that, then you can't possibly give the requisite any energy and attention to the other things in your life that need attending to. If you're completely panicked about money, it's probably going to get in the way of you leaving your corporate, for example, to like pursue your dreams of having your own business. If you are completely fixated on money and not being able to pay your bills, there's no way you are going to spend time focusing on what do I want? What do I need? What gives me joy? Because your predominant focus is survival. Okay. So you may or may not have heard of Maslow's hierarchy of needs. And this essentially is a pyramid structure. If you're on my email list, you'll have seen an email about this in April. It's like a pyramid structure all the way up to self-actualization. So basically all the different levels of personal development work. And we have to move up that pyramid incrementally, stage by stage. And the fundamental at the bottom are safety and security. Like if we don't have food, accommodation, I was going to say shelter and housing, but that's kind of accommodation. We don't have our basic needs met. It's basically not possible for us to move up the pyramid. So we have to focus on that bottom bit first. Okay. Now, some people have a very genuine, very real issue with money because they just do not have enough to pay for the basics of their lives, okay? And that is very stressful and it's very difficult and it's very challenging and it creates all kinds of obstacles in people being able to have the life they want. And many people are in a position where they technically do have enough to meet their basic needs, to buy the things that they want, to pay for stuff, like without it being a real massive issue. And yet their experience is the same as the experience of the person that genuinely doesn't have enough because of what is going on in their physiology and because of some of their own money story. Okay. So if you grew up and there wasn't enough and you were always worried that there wasn't going to be enough, sometimes there was, sometimes there wasn't. Maybe you experienced a situation where a parent was made redundant and there was a loss of money. Maybe you had a situation where a parent was alcoholic and so they drank all the money, or the parent gambled and so they gambled away all the money. Lots and lots of different things may have happened in your past that has left you with certain imprints when it comes to money and your experience of money, which might make it very hard to earn. It might make it very hard to save. It might make it very hard to spend. And so it doesn't actually really matter whether or not you've got minus 10 in the bank or plus a million in the bank. Your actual lived experience of money is one of scarcity and fear and discomfort. And all of the time, that is kind of the preoccupation and the predominant story that goes unchecked. It's actually going to hold you back from getting where you need to be. So, um, if I just give you an example around this, okay. In January, we had my sister-in-law and her husband and her niece come to stay, okay. And we are comfortable for money, more than comfortable, okay. And that's just important. It's not a bragging thing because we'll we'll come on to the stuff we definitely don't need to be bragging about shortly. But they came to stay in January and they have a Tesla electronic car. I'm sure you all know, but a Tesla electronic car. Now we have a petrol car and a diesel car. Okay. Now in our utility room is a smart meter that tells us how much electricity is being used at any point in time. So Nat's sister arrives and they've driven from Wales. They've done like a 2 hour journey in the Tesla. The Tesla needs charging before it's going to go back to Wales. And so they had a charging cable thing and they just connected it to our mains electricity. So every time I went into the utility for this entire weekend, this little smart meter is telling me how much the electricity is costing hour by hour. Okay. Now, to put it in context, I think for the whole of the weekend to charge the car was something like £20, £25, which is probably what, $30, something like that. So a small amount of money. And yet, because of, as I discovered, some of the stuff that obviously still sits in my physiology around not using electricity, not wasting electricity, not doing all of these different things, my body completely panicked, completely panicked about this Tesla. Now, I was able to see it. I was like, I'm having a very interesting reaction to them charging the car because I can see how much it's costing and it's less than it would cost us to go out for a round of drinks. But I'm having this panic. And when I say I was having this panic, when I went to bed, I was lying there awake, not falling asleep, thinking about this car and the money. Okay. So it's just a really good example, not one that I'm necessarily super proud of how this stuff can dominate even when it's not a massive issue. And so what we really want to do is, in order to work through some of this stuff, is get super, super clear about what is our money story and what are the rules and the things that we picked up when we were really, really little that are still subconsciously driving the car now so that we actually aren't living from our current perspective. Like that wasn't 38-year-old Louise living comfortably, quite able to pay an extra £20 for an electricity bill. That was, I don't know, 8-year-old Louise terrified to turn the lights on because she's going to get told off and still holding some of that stuff of like, we mustn't use more electricity than we must and we mustn't go over and that's not okay. Okay. And so getting clear on the money story is super, super helpful. And also taking that step back to see how is my current money story informing my results? Where is it holding me back? Where is it getting in the way? And so it's just an invitation today for you to start thinking about, well, where do you sit in relation to your money story? What are some of the like little foibles that you may have where actually your current reality and your spending habits don't necessarily align too well because there's other stuff going on that you maybe haven't looked at. And what might it be like for you if you had a nicer, more comfortable, more realistic to what's going on right now relationship with money? And so, what I want to do is, I want to invite you all to the Find Your Voice class this month. So, Find Your Voice this month is going to be focused purely on money. I am going to be sharing with you lots and lots and lots of things that I have realized about money and panicking about money and ways where I haven't allowed myself be supported because of the rules I had around money and who was supposed to earn and all of the rest of it. And some really quite hard won lessons, I would say, in the last few months as a way of opening up the conversation and then in a group exploring your money story so that you can start to find your voice, find it easy to express, move through some of the stuff that is holding you back so you have a more easeful relationship with money, which may then look like feeling more comfortable to go and ask for the promotion, feeling okay to ask a partner for support when you need it, feeling okay to put your prices up, feeling okay to even ask someone to pay you for the service that you offer. If this stuff feels uncomfortable for you, you want to get yourself to that class. Now, everyone that listens to this podcast, I want to give you the code 10 off, all capitals, 10 off, as in like 10 off, all one word. It'll be in the show notes. And that will allow you to come to this month's Find Your Voice class for just £19, which at the time of recording is about $24. It might be slightly more, it might be slightly less. The class is going to be taught live at 4 p.m. UK time on Monday, the 20th of May, which is 11 a.m. Eastern. It is going to be recorded, but it's also quite an interactive class. So you will get the benefits from the replay, but if you can come live so that I can support you, you can get involved in the class, then that is absolutely going to serve you in the best way that that class possibly can. So check that out in the show notes. I really, really, really hope to see you there. And let's do some work together to help you find your voice in relation to money so that you aren't in a situation where you aren't sleeping because someone's spending 20 quid charging a Tesla on your electricity. Okay, my loves, I hope you found this episode super helpful. Don't forget to share it with a friend. If you're listening to this on Apple, I would love for you to give it a review. Makes a massive difference. And I hope to see you guys on the class. I taught a very similar one in April. I cried because I was so vulnerable with what I shared. I didn't mean to cry. I don't anticipate crying in May, but you never know. But the feedback from that class has been absolutely phenomenal in terms of the shifts it has allowed people to have in relation to their money story and their relationship with money and making sense of their relationship with money. And so I'm doing a similar version again because I really want this information in as many hands as possible. So code 10 off, all one word, all capitals, to get the class for £19. And I will see you at 4 p.m. UK time on the 20th of May. All right, my loves, take care of yourselves. I will see you very, very soon. It is Mental Health Awareness Month, and alongside having some money issues, so many issues, you will probably know that I came to this work on the back of burnout, and so Mental Health Awareness Week is a big deal for me. So you can expect various free classes, bonus podcast episodes, and all sorts this month to really support you, not just for this month, because it's important all the time, but to really give you a kickstart in your overall well-being. So keep an eye out on all that as well. There will be plenty going on. All right, take care of yourselves, and I will see you very soon.